Sagittarius, welcome to the House of Sigils. Today's reading will be for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. And at the end, we will be pulling a Norse magic oracle and pulling a Nordic rune for you. So I'll begin dividing the deck in half, taking the top and bottom card for yin energies of the first deck, the first half, and the top and bottom card for the yang energies. And we will divine these together. If anybody believes that they can intuit or know what the cards will be, at least the first card, please leave them in the comments below. Sagittarius. Let's see what's going on. So we have the Three of Wands, the Sun in Aries, Virtue and Fire. This is a card of the pure inspiration of fire combined with the direction that you've given, the vehicle that you've put this fire in, and now being able to embody this flame and this fire. It's asking for equilibrium. It's asking for stillness and centeredness and finding a peace within the fire and a peace within the flames, finding that inner stillness and inner balance. As we move from the 2 to the 3, Sun in Aries, virtue, integrity, honesty, self-confidence, no compromises. There is something that has been challenging your virtue, your honesty. Something that has been challenging you to remain honest and to remain virtuous despite great odds. That's what I feel. That's what I'm getting. Body, intellect, and spirit are in harmony and have to be in harmony to stay centered in this fire. Whatever this is that's spinning around you, whatever it is that's tempting you to not stay within that integral space of honesty and self-confidence that you're in right now. And the card is asking you to pay attention to your own point of view, your own point of stillness, and to center yourself for whatever it is that you need to overcome and whatever it is that is coming towards you at the moment, or that you're moving toward, because you most assuredly are moving towards something that is asking you to exercise the utmost integrity, self-confidence, and virtue. If you are not, we will discover that in these cards. Let's look at the outward expression of yourself. So what you are expressing and showing yourself outwardly. What are your effect on others and how you are influencing your environment? We have the Five of Cups. We have Scorpio energy, disappointment. Is there a fear that you can't stay in that center place of honesty and integrity, Sagittarius? Have you been disappointed before because of not being able to stay in that lane and not being able to stay self-centered? It very much feels like that, whatever this is for you. Whether this is a boss or a friend that is asking you to do something that you're not willing to do, or this has just been sort of, you've been surprised by this situation. And you realize that if you aren't in this place of centeredness and integrity, and honesty and self-confidence, that someone else will be disappointed, or you will disappoint yourself. Let's take a deeper peek into the Five of Cups for you. I always like to have a teacher on hand. Mars and Scorpio, unfulfilled expectations, a lost sense of balance, problematic relationships, unexpected disturbances. So expectations either are or were too big in the past, and that has an unexpected event on you that you didn't perhaps foresee coming. Perhaps a thoughtless reaction has ruined something abruptly. But I feel like you're always a person that likes to stay in this place of honesty and integrity. But something has happened and something has challenged that integrity for you. It's important this time to remember that it needs to be looked at as a learning experience. Whether this is personal or romantic or work-related in nature. It would be wise at this time to understand those things that do disappoint you, so that you are prepared for them when they sort of rear their ugly head in a way. Let's take a look at the inner guidance for you. So what you're receptive to, what you're open to, which people, energies, and events that you are attracting at this time. So we have the sun in Virgo. Interesting. So the Eight of Pentacles, very earthy. We have some fire, we have water, we have earth. Going from the 3 to the 5 to the 8. Something is trying to become stronger, right? Something is trying to grow. And you're trying to, whether this is a relationship, I feel like this might be a relationship for you, but it's very possibly contractual. Like there's something that you need to be honest about, but and you need to do it for this to grow, but you're afraid that there will be a ton of disappointment and that it very possibly won't be able to grow. Let's take a look at the Eight of Pentacles. This Eight of Discs for you, the Sun in Virgo, like I said, flowering internal, external riches, wisdom, development, carefulness, and prudence. Keying in on the carefulness and prudence, right? Because there is this driving fire, but you don't want this person or situation or group of people possibly to be disappointed, because this thing is just getting started. It's just getting off the ground right now. I would say that to provide the protection and the resources that this needs to get off the ground, you're going to have to risk that disappointment. And perhaps that disappointment is able to be worked through. Stay centered. Let's see where it goes. So this is the key, a way in which to overcome the problem actively, or at the very least, a way to seek a way around it or to transform it. We have the Seven of Discs. The Seven of Discs. So the Seven of Discs is labeled failure. This is very much Taurus energy. It's very much so. Sometimes this card placement represents the problem, and these provide a way out and around it. Sometimes it shows up in reverse. That's what's happening here. Let's look at the Seven of Pentacles. So this is Saturn in Taurus. And restriction, resignation, hesitation, apparently insurmountable obstacles, and the fear of failing. Whatever it is that you're growing, this feels like a contract to me. You're afraid of failing and disappointing others. But the honesty and the virtue and staying within your self-confidence and being that sort of guiding light, even though it may disappoint some people and you feel like you're going to be a failure by showing your emotions or your disappointing thoughts or feelings about something, are exactly the things that are needed for this to continue on and grow. Let's get you a Norse Magic Oracle and see if we can gain a little more clarity into this situation. These cards have already been shuffled, so I'm going to divide the deck and pull straight from the middle. And we have Volva. Volva. It's an interesting card. It reminds me very much of the Three of Wands. So we have 1, 2, and 3, or 3 different symbols. Let's see where Volva leads us. The seeress watches through the darkness with all her senses, speaks in a clear, unwavering voice what she has seen. With her staff firmly in her hand, she wanders from place to place, shares her knowledge of the threshold and the world tree wisdom. The seer, the staff bearer, independence, the soul flight. In deep connection with nature and through expanded consciousness, the vulva receives messages from all worlds and self-knowledge, visions as well as divination. In the ancient practice of Utiesta, or sitting outside, she sent her spirit out on soul flight, and the burial mounds often associated with it indicate the threshold experiences and transitions where all life finds itself in a larger context of meaning and the ancestors' whisper. Ancient texts speak of the vulva wearing cat fur, suggesting a connection to Freya. When she wandered freely and independently from place to place with her staff, she could very well encounter fear in the villages despite her high reputation. Her word carried weight, and sometimes very clear vision might cause discomfort. Isn't that exactly what we were just talking about? Her clear vision, her clear ideas, her clear honesty would sometimes cause discomfort, disappointment. As a satyr, a Gald or adept, the ancient magic practices were her tools of the trade, in which the chanting of the ancient songs can be found. Word magic or trance, including spell chanting, that could be like sustaining wind for her soul flight. With her sense of the mysteries of the ways, her insights into the divine, and her connection to the mystery, she calls you. Sing an ancient song of your ancestors, a Galder, or a deep voice song, a deep throat song. Let them sound through you, and the ancient way will reveal itself. She reminds you to sing the song of the sacred groves again, to preserve the magic of life. I can imagine that a song probably came to you in that moment. Volva is asking you to sing your truth, sing your song. Risk the discomfort and the fear. For those are the things that are needed for this material endeavor to grow. Let's get you a rune, and we'll see where it falls out. The runes are very new to me, but I find them absolutely entrancing. And so I couldn't help but decide to bring in a series and speak of them. We have Nadis. The Nadis, or need, the constraint, the need, or a service. Nadis warns of hardship and constraint, lying between the oppressive staves of Halgalaz and Isa. It pairs two unpleasant aspects: suffering and the inability to act. Suffering and the inability to act. You are in a difficult, restrictive situation with little room to move. Even with hard work and toil, conditions seem difficult to improve. Struggle may just tighten the bonds, so act with caution. Nadis represents what is sometimes described as a karmic challenge. The Norse parallel is Wyrd, W-Y-R-D, the force that dictates our individual fate path. The shadow side of Wyrd appears when difficult events cluster in a tangled web, sometimes of our own making, within which we are held fast. This is extremely uncomfortable, but may prompt us to question easy assumptions and finally face issues we attempt to ignore. And present conditions may, of course, seem outside of your control, but in psychological terms, Nadis is linked to the way in which our own neuroses generate negative experiences. Thus, external events may in fact spring in part from your own restrictive internal programming. belief systems, often unconscious, based on life's disappointments, biases and inherited from parents and society, and our own fears and limitations can condition us to expect and therefore attract crisis after crisis. Absolutely 100% fitting. Sagittarius, that is your reading. If there is something that you found that resonated, or particularly clearly resonated in this case, please comment below. Share, like, and subscribe. It is a new channel that we are trying to get off the ground. And it is an absolute pleasure to sit here and do this. This is one of my favorite things in the world to do, if not my favorite. And please remember to keep your sigil of protection close at hand should the darkness decide to answer your call.